Hi, everyone. Welcome to ExtraRidiccular Science, the comedy trivia show where you compete against comedian contestants to compete to see who is at the head of the class, who can get to the head of the class. My name is Shannon. I am a neuroscientist slash comedian slash host slash trivia master slash lover of multi-hyphenates. And I will be your host for this evening. Hello, everyone. If you want to just keep your videos off for the time being, and we'll tell you when you can turn your sound on. But if you want to just stay muted to help with the show run, we are so happy to have you all here. This is a very special edition of ExtraRidiccular Science because it is sponsored by the Dana Foundation. So thank you so much to the Dana Foundation for sponsoring the show. If you don't know of the Dana Foundation, they're an organization based here in New York, where I am based, and they're committed to advancing brain research and educating the public in a responsible manner about brain research potential. Is everyone seeing me? I am not seeing me on my own screen, so I want to just check in. Okay. Okay, great. We see me. Cool. Okay, amazing. And this show, if you don't know, is in celebration of Brain Awareness Week. So hello, everyone. Start thinking about your brains because that's the theme of this show. And Brain Awareness Week, in case you don't know what that is a global campaign sponsored by the Dana Foundation to foster public enthusiasm and support for brain science, which I am all for. As again, I said, I'm a neuroscientist, so I freaking love brain research. So happy Brain Awareness Week. Start thinking about your brain. You're gonna need it. So before we get started, and don't worry if you're not logged into the Kahoot right now, we will go through it and make sure everyone can get into the Kahoot. If you're watching on a platform that is not in the Zoom, it might be a little difficult to play along with the Kahoot because there's gonna be a little bit of a delay, but for everyone here in the Zoom, we will make sure you are on the Kahoot. But in order to go over that information, I need a little help from our show sidekick. And who better to get help with instructions than the thing that gives instructions to our cell. Everyone welcome DNA deoxyribonucleic acid herself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm so excited to be here. I am deoxyribonucleic acid, but I'd prefer if you called me by my stage name, the Nerdy Alpha.
The Nerdy Alpha. Okay, I love that for you. And where are you right now?
So I'm in a brain cell, which is pretty fun. My name, you can also shorten it to DNA in case you couldn't figure that out. And I also see that you are PhD, right, on your jacket?
Oh, you know what? I do have a 3-letter hyphenate. I do have a PhD.
Yeah. 3-letter hyphenates are the best.
Yeah. But that's not a part of my, official name or anything like that.
Then why is it on your jacket and your Twitter bio and your tax returns?
Yeah. Well, when you spend 6 years doing something, sometimes you get attached to it. And I'm not really sure because if anything, you instructed me to do it. Okay. Because you're in all my little brain cells telling me what to do.
That is a fair point. I'll talk to some folks over here about that.
Okay. So you said you're in a brain cell, but could you clarify like what part of the brain? I mean, this is Brain Awareness Week. So we want to be aware of where you are.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell. Everything looks the same in here. I'm actually in the occipital lobe, but I'm thinking about transferring to the cerebellum because it looks like it's a lot more up my alley. I can do tricks. Woo! I like moving out. Yeah. Basically, I'm on a quest to find my passion. It's like the biology version of Soul on Disney Plus.
Ah, I see. You saw that? They streamed that up there?
Yeah, I'm in the occipital lobe, of course.
Okay. Fair. Well, thank you so much, DNA. You're going to be helping us around this whole show. But the first thing that you can help us out with is teaching everyone how to get into that Kahoot. So everyone, if you're struggling, we're going to go over it right now. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to, if you're watching this on your Zoom, on your laptop, you're going to want a second device. Okay. So you're going to want to either get a tablet or a phone, and you're going to want to go to kahoot.it. It's KAHOOT.it. You can see it right now on the screen. And you're going to want to put in that game pin, and that will get you into the Kahoot. I can see we already have 20 participants in there, but we're going to give some time for people to kind of get in there. Because I mean, we got a real competition, don't you think, DNA?
I do, and you're doing such a good job explaining this. You're definitely smart. You're definitely using your prefrontal cortex on this one.
I get it from you.
Yeah, you do.
And I love that dance. We're gonna by the time we end, we're gonna have a TikTok dance that is DNA inspired. I have a feeling.
The only thing that goes more viral than TikToks is the way that I can make cells replicate. Yeah.
And we love that. And we love that about you, DNA. So as people are filing into the Kahoot, and they're going to continue to do that, I think it's time we introduce our contestants that the audience will be competing against today. Don't you think so?
I think so. It's only fun if you can compete against other people.
Exactly. In life, everything's a competition, I guess, including science. And that is the motto, I guess, of the show. Science and comedy, both competitions. Our first contestant is a comedian and writer. He's the host of How to Be a Better Human from TED and PRX, and he wrote for White Snacks Problem Areas on HBO. Please put your hands together, even though you're muted, but we want to feel the energy for Chris Duffy.
Oh, hi, hello. Thanks so much for having me here. Wow, this is great. Just want to say I'm definitely disturbed by the way that DNA is wiggling. That is making me deeply uncomfortable. And also shout out to Just Jean, who has left and came back to add the second N. Love that you got the second N in there, Jean. It's important. I'm glad that you're back fully spelled correctly.
We're really all about branding. We've kind of established that from the front of the show. So I support that as well.
I'm sorry for Happy Chicken 2 that they couldn't get Happy Chicken 1, but you got to snap on these usernames fast.
Chris, I want to say thank you for being here, and I want to say
thank you so much for having me. Brain Awareness Week.
Yes,
my favorite week of the year.
How aware are you?
Super aware. I use my brain to be aware of brains. It's kind of like a very meta situation. But yes, I'm here. I can't say that my awareness of brain would fit the Dana Foundation's mandate to be responsible about sharing brain awareness, but I'm going to try my best. This is irresponsible brain awareness.
No, we are here, and with that, what is your science background, right? Because this is a science comedy trivia. We know you got the comedy chops from your intro. Do you got the science chops?
I would say extremely limited. Extremely limited. Okay. I used to have a public radio show where I interviewed scientists. So I've talked to scientists, and before that, I was a 5th grade teacher. So I taught some science. So When it comes down to the question of, am I smarter than a fifth grader? I know for a fact the answer is, it depends on the fifth grader.
There are some really smart fifth graders out there. You know,
there are a lot of smart fifth graders.
And they might be here in the chat right now. We do not know. Absolutely
Seems possible that one of these usernames was generated by a fifth grader. In fact, many of them appear to be generated by fifth graders, if I was just giving my professional opinion. But yes.
So yeah, Chris, we've heard your credentials. Now we want to really just give you the stage and basically say your case of why you're going to win.
Okay, well, you know, while I may not have the most scientific background, I do prepare. I'm good at doing homework. So I actually prepared a very quick slideshow to answer the question, why I am going to win, which I knew I was going to have to say. So I'm going to just quickly take over the screen, and I'm going to show that for you. Why do I think I'm going to win? Well, the answer is, of course, that I don't. I don't think I'm going to win. I know better than that. Why don't I think I'm going to win? One, I was told by the organizers of this show that a comedian has never won, and I do not expect that I will be the first. Second, I was on the game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, so I have some experience at playing game shows. However, I am not currently a millionaire because I lost on that game show. I would expect the history to repeat itself today. Why else do I not think that I'm going to win? Well, I know that I am competing against an incredible comedian, an incredible competitor who I'm going to be going head-to-head with, Dylan Stevenson, and I am an English major. Now, what can you do with an English major? When I Googled that question, what came up was this graphic, but no answers. So you can make this graphic, but you can't answer the question in the graphic. I also know that compared to Dylan, Dylan is smart. This is a photo of Dylan. You can see that his brain is so large that part of it actually hangs out the back of his head. This is a condition known as too much brains. He has too many brains and they hang out the back of his head. However, I have a different condition, which is known as empty skull. And this is actually an X-ray. You could tell that I don't have the best health insurance because my medical provider is photo search. But yeah, that's where I go for my X-rays. So yeah, I would say that overall what I'm doing right now, this is actually an example of what I call lowering the bar. I'm utilizing the technique that professionals know as reverse psychology. Now, when I tell you that I'm using reverse psychology to say I'm not going to win so that you think I'm not going to win so that I actually win, in fact, I am now adding a second reverse on top of it. What is the reverse of a reverse? I don't know. Am I going to win? Am I not going to win? Do I think I'm going to win? Do you think I'm going to win now? Do we, either of us, even agree that I know what reverse psychology is? Well, none of us know the answers. But what we do know is that you're experiencing U-turn psychology, an entirely new level of psychology that I have invented today. And that is me resting my case. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I loved about that presentation is that I left with more questions than when I started it. So it really is science.
That's a hallmark of a good scientific study, is that you leave with more questions than you began.
Exactly. So in that case, that is a strong case that you are going to win.
Thank you. If you think that's a strong case that I'm going to win, I would question where you got your PhD from. So we'll have to talk afterwards.
Thank you so much, Chris. Next, DNA, I think it's time we bring on our second contestant, which we got a little introduction of our second contestant already in that last presentation. He is a comedian and writer based out of New York City. He wrote for Wyatt Snacks, Problem Areas on HBO, The Big Fib on Disney+. He co-created Super Video Bros, a comedy party dedicated to celebrating music videos as an art form. And he's the host of Stick Talk TV, a video game-based web series. What can he do? Please welcome Dylan Stevenson.
Thank you. So there was too much stuff. Chris, well put together case that Chris put there. It takes a lot to. Yeah, I'm out of my depth, but yeah, glad to be here and happy to join in on Brain Awareness Week.
Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I was gonna say, Chris kind of went ahead and kind of introduced you already, but please tell us, you know, the things he left out. Could you tell us a little bit about, obviously you have the comedy chops. What's your science background?
Science background is pretty much mostly comic book and sci-fi movie based. I know a lot of information that isn't real information. You know, I know it takes 1.21 gigawatts for time travel to be possible. I know
Gigawatts?
Gigawatts, yeah. Dr. Brown taught me that. I know the Millennium Falcon made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Not an actual piece of information. I know what Wolverine's bones are made out of. You know, adamantium. So I know a lot of science, but it's nothing useful for anything that's going to help the game. So I'm real prepared today. I'm feeling good.
You know, you never know. You never know when there may be a question in this very trivia show that has to do with movies or sci-fi. So you could be really set up. And with that, I do want to give you, you know, Chris made his case. I want to give you time to state your case. Okay. So go ahead.
Yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna win because I didn't take all the effort to have some kind of crazy presentation. You know, Chris likes to say nice things about me. It's all mind games. So like I don't have time, you know, to prepare a lot of nonsense and mind games. You know, I'm here to play a nice, crisp, easy game. You know, I'm just focused on the facts and the trivia. I'm not here to, like, you know, I'm not here for that. I'm just here for science. And if you had to go out of your way to prepare a bunch of crazy nonsense to state your case, then like, what are we even doing here? So that's all I came to say. Let's just play a nice game and not try to get into each other's heads as we do it.
Wow. Chris replicated faster than DNA. Whoa.
I was going to say, DNA.
Hey.
Chris is giving you a run for your money. And I was also going to say, Dylan, I think, just showed us a science experiment in real time. He discovered cloning of humans.
Cloning should be used expeditiously. Like, don't use it for foolish things, but I did today.
For a bit? We shouldn't use cloning for a bit, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dylan. If we can get Chris back on screen here, we're gonna.
I've been on screen the whole time. I'm on screen 17 to 20 times.
That is true. That is true. And I love that Dylan is going to commit to Chris being in his background for the whole show.
Also, you're getting fact-checked on your fake science, Dylan. Turns out Wolverine's bones aren't made of adamantium; they're coated in it. Get with the picture,
nerds.
Yeah, Marsha.
You're right. I got checked. That is correct. Glad to see there's other scholars out here. Glad to see you on the field of battle today.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. So we're gonna get started with the competition. So get those fingers ready and warmed up. How are we feeling, Chris, Dylan? How are we feeling?
I'm feeling so ready. I can't wait.
Okay.
I'm kind of thrown after that adamantium thing, so now I might be shot confidence-wise.
And I should say, for everyone on Facebook or YouTube watching this, there might be a slight delay in the Kahoot, but send us a message at DC Science Comedy and we can send you the Zoom link. It was also emailed to you. It just might have gone in a spam folder. And for everyone in the Zoom, we asked you to mute yourselves before just to get the show rolling, but feel free to unmute yourselves because it will help Chris and Dylan feel better about the jokes that they make to hear your laughter.
I don't think that's true. I'm going to disagree with that. We will see. We shall see if it helps us feel better. I think often telling myself they're all laughing at home and not having to fact check it makes me feel very good.
Yeah.
It will make me feel better to think that you aren't laughing when you're supposed to be. There you go.
Oh, thank you so much for this pity applause, the emojis. You didn't have to write the words pity applause.
All right, so we are starting off with the first question, just to get this isn't for points, this is just a poll and to get used of how it works. So if you're on your Kahoot right now, The first question is obviously here on the screen. So it's how much do you know about the brain? We just want to get a feel for what the competition is like. Okay, so do you know nothing? You barely know her. You think you've met her a couple times, or maybe you got a PhD. Maybe you got a PhD. Let's see what we're working with. Okay.
Okay.
Not a lot of people are very confident, it's looking like.
Well, it's pretty confident to think you're smarter than the average person.
I guess so. I guess that is true. And we're going to roll, I guess, right into the next question, which is, how did you hear about the show?
Okay, I got that one right too.
This one I'm confident about. This is going to be probably my most likely to succeed question. I'm super confident on this one.
I'm doing great so far.
Also,
I know.
You know, I feel like one thing that people don't often recognize about the double helix structure of your DNA is that it has a very prominent mouth.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's a big thing. I feel like a lot of times in science class, they don't capture that, and it's so important to know.
And the teeth too. It's a real thing.
Yeah. That's how you know exactly where the mouth gene is located.
Thank you all for taking. So does everyone feel good about it? So those were poll questions, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do our first. I guess this one's also a warm-up question. We're doing a lot of warm-up questions. We're gonna make sure everyone's Kahoot's working, because in the past people got kicked off of their Kahoot. So if that happens, you're having time to get back in here before we're playing for points. Okay. And one thing I do want to say when we get into the real points, timing matters in Kahoot. Okay. So the faster you are, the more points you get. But again, we're just doing another poll. We're going to ask everyone how aware they are of their brain, because this is Brain Awareness Week. So we hope by the end we're a little bit more aware. That's the goal of the whole show.
Scott's asking if he has a glass of wine, if it'll make his brain work better for the game. And trust me, anyone who is asking that question, they're going to have the glass of wine no matter what the answer is. There's no question in my mind.
I do agree with that.
Is every one of these questions going to give me an existential crisis?
Yeah.
That's
the goal of science as well. Oh, and we're right into, so this one, again, it's not going to count for actual points, but it is going to count.
It's going to really count in our emotional strength. Also, this photo series lets you see how much hair both of us are capable of growing in a year where we don't visit a barber.
So take that into account, how you think that's going to affect their game.
Doing it myself.
Who do we think is going to win?
Oh, I got this one.
This is a real prisoner's dilemma type situation.
I got this one right again. I'm doing great.
I voted for you, audience, so you have to vote for me. This is kind of a trade situation.
Yeah, you can't vote for yourself.
Wait, there's more audience than you. That would tip your favor.
Okay, I'll vote for audience. All of the audience members vote for me. Dylan votes for himself. Let's see how it ends.
Ooh.
Looks like a lot of people didn't play fair.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going back to the Chris background. We're going back to mind games.
No.
Okay, so that is how Kahoot works. I hope you guys are all warmed up, feeling good, because we're going to start getting into the real questions. And that brings us to our very first round, which DNA, I believe you're going to take us through this round. It's all you.
Thank you. Shannon, though, I know that everyone is very excited for the audience to win, but what will the winner win?
Great call. The winner will win some incredible brain swag. Yes, brain swag from the Dana Foundation. Thank you so much for sponsoring us and also giving us some swag to give away to our winners. So I heard that it might include some brain erasers, which, I mean, I'm making mistakes all the time. I need an eraser. I wish I had a real brain eraser. Am I right? Eternal sunshine of a spotless mind. Wish it was real. And I think some booklets, maybe a t-shirt. There's good stuff. So we're going to want to play hard.
And a pencil. Maybe two if you're lucky, but you'll also get a pencil.
Very, very good. High stakes. I just want everyone to be in that high stakes mindset. Take it away, DNA.
Yes, now that we know what we're all playing for, are you ready to rumble?
Yes! Yes, DNA.
All right. Today, we're going to talk about brain anatomy. How well do you know what's going on inside your brain? We're taking the trip within the brain. All right, your first question. The brain has three main parts. There's cerebrum, cerebellum, and brainstem. You already knew that, of course. Which one of the following is responsible for learning? In other words, which one's responsible if you win or lose this game?
Ooh, that's good to know.
You have 20 seconds.
I feel like they shouldn't be spelled so similar. That's my real takeaway here. Why do they have so many of the same letters?
You are the English major, so you would probably know.
Okay.
Ooh, nice job. Did you guys get it right?
Does the check mark mean it's right?
Yes.
Oh, then
no, the check mark means it's wrong. That's what the check mark typically means, is that it's wrong.
All you who doubted me and said I wasn't going to win, I hope you feel foolish now. I know what the check mark means.
Well, this is our explanation slide. So remember what we say on these things because they might come in handy later. We have the three main parts. The big one is the cerebrum, then the cerebellum, and then the brainstem. And here you can see what each one does. The cerebellum is for muscle movements. The brainstem is for automatic functions like breathing, vomiting, stuff that we don't need to think about. And the cerebrum, it performs all the higher functions like thinking and learning.
Never vomited without thinking about it. It has never happened without me thinking I am vomiting right now. So I'll just disagree with that one small part.
Well, maybe that's not located in your brainstem. You're special.
Yeah, I do it through my cerebrum, actually.
All right, question number 2. Your cerebrum is divided into 2 hemispheres. If you're good at math, which part of your brain is more dominant? Is it the right hemisphere, the left hemisphere, neither? Or this is a bad question because the brain is flat anyways.
Yep. I'm a flat brain truther.
Oh,
whoa.
I got it wrong and I don't even remember which one I pushed.
No, only one person got it right.
This was a hard one. Did you get it right, Chris? We already know Dylan got it wrong.
Absolutely was not me. I was certain it was left.
Wow.
People always tell me I'm a right brain thinker, so I assume left brain was the other side.
Ooh, Justin's brain. Way to go, Justin's brain. Hey, Dylan and Chris, you're pretty high up there too.
Yeah.
This never happens.
I'm coming for you, JB.
It won't for long.
Yes, it will. I'm here.
So the idea of left brain versus right brain, of which one's more dominant, is actually a myth that was debunked by a study. This study actually took place over 2 years, and they looked at MRIs over 1,000 people, and they found that no one side dominates a certain type of function. They actually work together. So, for example, your left side of your brain is credited with language, but the right brain helps you understand the context and tone. The left brain handles mathematical equations, but the right brain helps out with comparisons and rough estimates. So they're actually used in pretty equal amounts. There's not one dominant part.
No. Jared Nielsen has led me astray before. I'll believe it when someone else replicates this study.
That's between you and Jared Nielsen. And I should say, he has a number 1 next to his name. You don't. You're number 3, according to Kahoot. So.
Oh, well.
Oh, wow. I'm not even going to. Yeah, that's dangerous.
All right. Each hemisphere is divided into 4 lobes. Which lobe was found to be activated by the most inexperienced comedians?
More existential crises. Inexperienced comedians or inexperienced comedians? Oh my God, stop it, Dylan.
Yeah, I read it as inexperienced comedians, so this is very complicated here.
Really good comedians use what lobe the most, according to a study?
The most inexperienced comedians activate this part of their brain.
The most inexperienced? Wait, inexperienced?
If you're the most inexperienced, you've never experienced comedy.
I got it right. I'm temporal lobe. I was like, you
Absolutely.
know, I'm probably temporary in this career, so temporal lobe.
Check the scoreboard, Jared Nielsen.
Whoa, this bodes well. Chris, Dylan got it right. Chris, did you get it right?
Oh, I got it right. That's exactly right.
I'm comfortable to stay in second place. I'm here. I'm consistent. I'm gonna jump to number one when it's my point. When it's my time, I'm ready.
I will say, you guys both must have used your temporal lobe for this. The study found out that experienced comedians actually relied more on spontaneous associations. They didn't have to think as much. So that is with their temporal lobe. But inexperienced comedians, or just not comedians at all, used more of their prefrontal cortex, would be their frontal lobe. So they were thinking more, planning more, and doing more decision making. Whereas, good comedians, we don't need to think.
Truly the best, I will say the funniest joke that I've ever heard in my entire life is Scott Schwartz's last question, which is, do all comedians have high IQs? That is the funniest joke I've ever heard.
Scott's tearing it up in the chat. He already heckled our last question about the right brain versus left brain. It was only one study. Has it been peer reviewed? It was peer reviewed. It was in PLOS One. There might be more studies out there. I just decided to pick that one because I know that Chris didn't like that main author. All right.
That's exactly right. Thank you so much. Also, yes, IQ, very troublesome, problematic score. So we're going to move right on past that anyway.
Shout out to all my Dill Lions in the crowd. We're going viral. We're going viral. Second place, baby. All 5 of you who said I was going to win, we're doing it.
Dill Lions, are you guys ready for this next question? Our last one of this round. Well, a lot of people have described something called pandemic brain this past year. It's causing them to be more forgetful, more emotional, less productive. What is the following major cause of a pandemic brain? Is it contracting COVID-19? Is it stress? Is it too much social media? Or is it binging the Great British Baking Show?
Only good things can happen when you binge the Great British Baking Show. That would be like you've achieved a new level of baking crumpets and you have an accent.
I definitely pushed the wrong one. But okay, yeah.
Which one did you push?
I think I was so stressed out by stress, I didn't want to bring any more of it into my life. So I just went with contracting COVID. I was like, that doesn't make sense, but I don't want to. I'm already stressed. I don't need more.
Zoe did say all of the above.
I'm sorry, Dill Lions. We'll get back here.
Oh, hello.
Ooh, Chris.
Hello. That's right.
So the answer was stress. When you're stressed out, you release the cortisol stress hormone. And neuroscientists have actually said, especially during this pandemic, that repeated exposure to cortisol can actually change the ion channels in your prefrontal cortex. It actually muffles the signal. So then more reactionary networks like your amygdala might take over. And that requires you to become a little more primitive rather than a thoughtful way. So you become more irritable and impulsive. So there was also another study that I'm sure Scott will disagree with. They actually found this in medical school students also experienced this during finals times.
You can also tell that this brain is stressed because they bought a counterfeit Nike brand brain. It doesn't have the swoosh the right direction. So that's how you know that they were stressed.
I'm glad to now have a good excuse for when I forget to do things. It's like, oh, my cortisol's all wrong and my prefrontal cortex it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So that's why I flaked on all the deadlines I had this week. Thank you.
But the good news is you can combat it if you do more exercise, you keep getting around, try and be as normal as you can during a pandemic.
So you're saying it can't be combated is what I heard. It's impossible to combat this.
We'll have you on next show and see what you did to help combat it. See if it worked out. All right, that is the end of round one. Thank you very much. I hope some people learned some things. I know people always hate the questions because they're wrong. They always are. If you liked it and you're having a good time so far, Venmo us and PayPal us now before you start disliking the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, DNA, for that incredible round. I didn't catch in the end, so it looks like Chris, you're kind of up at the top.
Yeah, I didn't catch either. Maybe we could see that scoreboard again. I couldn't quite remember who was at the very top of the scoreboard.
They can't put it. They can't put it on the screen. It's like they don't have the technology for it. Isn't it just shows up randomly, so they can't call it up right now.
Yeah, we cannot pull it up right now, but yes,
Okay.
I do remember you were at the top, Chris. Dylan, it's a cutthroat game right now because all it takes is one wrong question and boom, you're off. No pressure, Chris, but one wrong question, you are off the leaderboard.
It's all part of the strategy. Like I figured I couldn't stay in second the entire time. Like people would start gunning for me, so I was like, let me drop to the back of the pack, and then I can leap forward when it's my time to strike. So that's
the hair situation.
Purposely being the underdog. You're like Gonzaga this year in the March Madness. You're like seeded one. Well, you weren't even seeded one, but people have high hopes, but you got to drop low. Got it.
Yeah. See, DNA.
Who would have guessed that DNA would be pulling out sports references? I don't understand what that meant, but I assume it was incredibly topical.
Oh, you should see my bracket. I put West Virginia and Virginia in the finals because I'm recreating the Civil War. Yeah.
Wait.
We're
That's the
smart.
happiest someone's ever said. I'm recreating the Civil War.
Well, what an incredible round. So that moves us on to round 2, and round 2 is quite an interesting round. It it's a video round, and this round is actually sponsored by our friends over at Jet Set Travel, a travel agency. So I'm going to kind of give it away to their videos, and then we'll answer questions about their videos afterwards. So I guess a word from our sponsors now from Jet Set Travel.
Adventure, luxury, occasional nausea. These are just some of the experiences Jet Set Travel can provide. Aloha, I'm Diana Sorrento, registered travel agent, and I'm here to tell you about some of the amazing getaway packages we're offering this month. You may be thinking, it's a Panasonic. I can't get on a plane. And you would be right. But here at Jet Set Travel, we pivoted into offering something a little different. We're offering trips you can go on by chemically altering your mind. Drugs. Now, some of you may be saying, are you serious right now? You're a drug dealer. I'm 85 years old with a heart condition. I can't be buying MDMA. Well, think of this. Ultimately, what I'm selling is experiences. And isn't that the motto here at Jet Set Travel? And in this panna cotta, don't we all deserve to experience a little something? So click here to find out more about our exclusive offers. And soon you'll be saying bon voyage to the reality as you know it.
Okay, well, very, very interesting video from our sponsor at Jet Set Travel.
It's amazing. She looks so familiar, but because her coat was black, I can't recognize her as anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. I've never seen her before in my life. So that leads us to our first question. Hope you were paying attention to the video, because the question is, what word does D not use to refer to the pandemic? So that is this question. Hope you were listening, because D never said pandemic. She said a lot of other things.
It was panna cotta, everybody. Pick that one. Everybody pick panna cotta. Trust me, I'm on your side.
We got strategy. Okay, everyone was paying attention. How did we do, Chris and Dylan?
I got it right.
I got it.
Okay, let's see this scoreboard. Chris, you're still at the top.
Oh, I listened to every word D said. I listened with my ears wide open.
But
as soon as I heard she was selling 85-year-old women MDMA, I needed to know what was happening.
You know, well, everyone will know not to pay attention super close to everything D has to say, though. We do not support, D she bought time on the show. We don't vet our commercial breaks,
I would stand by that product. I want to partake. So
I want to say that Dylan and I do support her.
Yeah. So she has sent in another video, so let's listen up.
Thank you for your interest in our exclusive offers. Consider this irresistible trip. Experience the bliss and relaxation of phytocannabinoids binding to the CB1 receptors of your amygdala, dampening your fear and anxiety response. Feel the euphoria and humor in pretty much anything, thanks to THC increasing firing of dopamine-releasing neurons in your reward pathway. You deserve it. Forget all your troubles, literally, as you stroll the beautiful beaches of acute memory loss. But don't worry, it's not permanent, aka fully refundable. Your THC experience awaits. Call now to reserve your spot in this exclusive offer.
Wow.
Well, before we get to the question, can I just say that desperately listening to each of the words she says around THC and trying to remember them but struggling to do it is the experience I have of being high at a party.
Yeah, exactly. No one should be high in public because it is quite an experience. And again, we got to say we're not, we didn't actually watch the videos before Dee sent them in, so we had no idea this is going to happen.
And again, I do want to say Dylan and I do support these videos. We do endorse. Dylan, you're muted.
You're right.
All right. So I hope you were paying attention to Dee because she brings us her next question, which is THC works on what receptor in the brain? I did hear she mentioned it, so let's pop up that question. THC works on which receptor in the brain? The chill receptor, the THC receptor, the CP1 receptor, or the CP3PO receptor?
I 100% know the person where that photo was taken. The photo of the water, the marijuana, and then the brain. I've been to that house.
Oh, you've been there. Where people are just drinking water and throwing around marijuana with brains. Oh, Chris. Wow, Chris.
On an answer
Dylan.
streak. According to Kahoot, I'm on the podium and I'm on an answer streak. Dylan, did you get that one right?
I got it right, but somehow dropped 2 spaces back.
You gotta be quick.
Into more of a prime position to leap into number 1. Just watch.
Zoe, if you want to take a break, maybe go get some drinks, Zoe, feel free to pay less close attention. That'd be totally fine.
Zoe's coming. So is El Jeff and Elaine and Mr. Copernicus.
I believe we got El Jefe.
I like El Jeff.
El Jeff.
El Jeffy.
El Jeffy is coming. I believe we have one more sponsored video from Dee over at Jet Set Travel. So let's go ahead and play it.
That last offer not quite what you're looking for? Consider this. Now this offers what we call an all-inclusive, thanks to the drug's ability to bind to multiple neurotransmitter receptor. Now that's a bang for your buck. Get swept off your feet, literally, as ethanol alters firing in the cerebellum, affecting your ability to coordinate movement. Let your inhibitions fade away, as ethanol decreases activity in your prefrontal cortex. On this vacation, it is a good idea. That's right, your alcohol experience awaits. Call now to reserve your spot in this very special offer.
Shout out to Scott and the wine. Yeah, Scott's on it.
Yes, I believe we did. We had a shout out to drinking. And Dee, if you need an exclusive offer, it sounds like Dee has some really great offers when it comes to alcohol.
I love that Dee spells all of her words phonetically. It's just a joy. It's a joy to watch.
So alcohol's effect on this region of the brain may cause you to fall down the stairs. And Dee did mention this. And were you paying attention? That's the question. So alcohol affects this region of the brain, may cause you to fall down the stairs. What region? Is it the cerebellum? Is it the Broca's area? Is it the temporal lobe? Is it the coordinabellum? All right.
It really adds insult to injury when the caution sign comes flung on the stairs.
Yeah, there was a huge thing that happened there. I am so happy that almost everyone got it right. One person thought it was the temporal lobe, but that's not going to make you fall down. Wow. Okay. We got some movement by Mr. Copernicus in sushi. But Chris, you got the top spot.
I would like to point out that it's Mr. Copernicus, which means Dylan is being beat by a piece of sushi and cat and an El Jeffy.
And the boss is here.
I'm in 10th, but the trick question, the answer was gravity, but I still got it right. It wasn't there.
That's so true.
But I paid attention. The answer is gravity. I think we all know a little bit of science sometimes.
That is true. It was a trick question. It should have been gravity. Great job, guys. I feel like we're really moving here. That brings us to the end of round 2. Thank you so much for D over at Jet Set Travel. Please go check them out. I believe their number is 555-555-555. You just stumble on your phone and you'll reach her.
I called. I've been calling during each of these questions.
Yeah, I mean, those offers are going to go fast.
Yeah.
For this next round, we also have a special guest coming to join us to present this round. I know the chat is.
It's a star-packed show. It's a lineup that you can't. How could you get this show? I guess it's all the money you got from the sponsored content, though. That makes sense as to why you could book.
The Jet Set Travel money. We have presenting this round some historian.
Ooh. Oh.
Hi. Hello.
Generic.
Hi. As a woman, I can only be generic at this point. Feminism and whatnot. But that is not my point today. My point is to share some really fun facts that you might not know about brain history. I hope you're all ready for this one. Very excited. If you have any questions, write a book about it,
Okay.
For our first round, I hope that you're ready. The first question is going to be tied to what the brain is for. Any guesses? Any guesses from our contestants? What is your brain for? What do you think? Chris, Dylan?
What is my brain for? I would say control, self-control.
Self-control, yes. Dylan, what do you think your brain is for?
It's make sure I don't slam my head on things real hard because I got something in here that I got to take care of. So you don't slam your head, you take care of your brain.
Yes, that you would like to think so. But we're actually still trying to figure out that big old question because it's quite complicated. And science is a process that often starts with a question that leads to experimentation, years and years of paid and unpaid failures, to eventually maybe go from kind of getting it right to okay, we're mostly probably right. But historically, these questions came from old rich men sitting around and doing a lot of thinking, because you need money to have some time to think. We know this now.
The thing about Aristotle, though, is he may have had money, but he could not have afforded a satchel to carry all those parchments. He's just barehanding them.
Yeah, he's not that level of rich.
No,
As someone who is very much not an anatomist, Greek philosopher Aristotle was said to believe what about the human brain? So get your answers ready. What did he think the function of the brain was actually? Was it's where consciousness and life begins and ends? It's where you store excess body fat? It's a radiator. It's a radiator for, excess heat in your body, or it's a fatty weight to help balance our head on our bodies.
Oh, wait. That last one's actually pretty useful.
It is, especially if you're walking on 2 feet.
Oh, man, I wish I pushed the other one.
This one was a tricky one. It actually, according to Aristotle, is a radiator for venting heat. Chris, hey, congrats. Still up there. All right.
Anytime you want to figure out what the ancient Greeks believed, you got to just pick what sounds the absolute most bonkers, and then that's for sure it. It's a radiator in your skull. That makes sense.
Congratulations to Dr. J and KS for heading up there. Looks like you're on a streak. Congrats. Dylan, what are you doing?
Aristotle lets me down so often. Aristotle lets me down the most, I think, these days, and that's really upsetting.
I totally understand. You know, some people just don't have that capacity to like imagine that the brain is a radiator for venting out excess heat because, you know, he thought that the heart was what was at the source of our consciousness as humans.
What an idiot.
He was very wrong, but don't feel bad about him because men in tweed still worship him to this day. So there you go. Not to worry. All right, we're on to our second question. Are you ready?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Which whoopsie taught us about our brain? Now, these up next are a bunch of bizarre accidents, and sometimes they help us understand that our brains have very specific functions. I don't know if you guys know about it, but there is the medical branch of pathology that has been really helpful in us understanding all the different parts of our bodies, the function of our brains. I like to think of it as the science of, oh shit, oops, oh, okay, but damn, right. That is pathology as a science. You're welcome. Now, the question.
Beautiful.
The question for you all is, which of these medical cases first helped us really understand that our brains have specific regions responsible for important functions? So some of you might know this already, or otherwise it's an interesting fun fact. Was it the dancing plague of 1518? Was it a Frenchman having a stroke and suddenly having a regional accent in 1907? 1979, a football fan being hit by a flying lawnmower? Or 1848, a railroad worker survives an iron rod through his head?
I feel weird rooting for the one I'm rooting for, but...
That was also the first time the photo had no connection. It was just a little boy wondering what's going to happen.
Congratulations to most of our audiences. That one was really
Phineas Gage!
That's right, Chris. Dylan, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get I want to make a running start from the back to the front.
It's okay. It's okay. We still have a lightning round where people can get way more points. So don't worry. The game is not up yet. Chris, you know,
you're TV and radio stuff, guys.
Let's go. Okay, stop now. I think we can stop counting score and kind of just leave it, like lock this in, and then, you know, we could just mess around for the rest of the show.
I was feeling real good at the beginning of the question when it was like, which whoopsie? Because I was like, oh, I love whoopsies. But apparently I am
sorry I disappointed you, Dylan. I'm sorry. Okay. But I promise there's some stuff in there. You can still make it. And congratulations to Mr. Copernicus.
Mr. Copernicus.
I said I have a team of clones looking over Dylan's shoulder to tell me what answer he's giving, so it's a lot easier for me.
There you go.
Technically, I'm part of this team.
So a little bit of info, Phineas Gage and the iron rod. That's right. He was an American railroad worker, and he was working, tamping down I think it was a mine that they were using to explode parts of a cave. And while he was tamping it down, sparks flew and it ignited and shot an iron rod straight through his brain. You can see him here. He actually survived it. And we learned a lot in terms of the parts of the brain that works and how it works. According to people who knew him, he was, quote, never the same Gage again after. So, and just
historian, I have a question for you. If you knew that you would be remembered forever, but it took an iron rod flying through your brain, would you do it?
Is it like TikTok clout? Because maybe.
I mean, I think this is like the TikTok of the day.
That's right. Yeah. So, you know, if it gets you that money, is because being poor is hard.
I mean, I'll say, like, you say he was never the same after that. Of course not. Like, you have such a story to tell people. You got like, hey, you know how people understand the brain? All right. Like, I had this thing go, it probably all went to his head, you know? That was
DNA. Oh no. Just so you know, everybody, each one of those other optional answers are actually true facts from history. 1979.
The lawnmower. I can't believe the lawnmower.
a drone lawnmower, a drone in the shape of a lawnmower actually took out a fan in Shea Stadium. That was very real and actually quite tragic. In 1518, there was a dancing mania that somehow fell on a town in Alsace, and it's still a complete mystery what happened. Everybody just started getting footloose and everything. And 1907 was the first time neurologist Pierre Marie had described a syndrome called foreign accent syndrome, where a patient had suffered a stroke and later just started speaking with a different French accent. That was enough for a paper. So there you go.
So I got it right.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, they were all true, so everyone kind of sort of got it right.
So yeah, I'm not in 24th now. I'm in like third probably. I got it right here.
In our hearts, that's right.
Yeah.
Our next question: what is in a name? So we're diving a little bit into the field of anatomy and the names of parts of our bodies. There's a lot to unpack about the very man-dominated history of anatomy. There's a ton of stuff in our body named after random guys. For example, why do I forever have to attach Gabriele Fallopio's name to my tubes? It's very disappointing, but such are eponyms in anatomy. The question that we've got for this next round is about the hippocampus. Now, the hippocampus is an area of the midbrain that plays a major role in learning and memory. What is it named after? So some of you might already know this. This will be fun. Is it named after an ancient roll of sushi, mythical half-horse, half-fish sea monster, bathing hippo from sub-Saharan Africa, or cyclical rhythms of never-ending hiccups?
I'm going to tell you a little something about me. I'm going to answer half-horse, half-fish sea monster every time it's an option. It doesn't matter what the question is. I'm just going to push that every time. Just Dylan fact.
And Dylan, you would be right. That is actually what the hippocampus is named after. How are you doing, everybody? All right, PB and Sushi on the board. Chris still dominating. Chill. Chill a little bit. Okay.
Watch out, Dylan. I can't leave a half fish person on the board.
Yeah, no.
I thought it was going to be Hippocrates. I was ready to hit Hippocrates, and then it turned out it was a fish person instead.
It is a fish person. Shout out to Bina Rayner for moving up 4 places. Congratulations.
I'm crawling back from 24th. I'm coming.
You still got a chance, Dylan. Don't worry. It is named after Hippocampus, a mythological creature shared by Phoenician, Etruscan, Pictish, Roman, Greek mythology, though its name of origin is Greek. And typically it is depicted as having the upper body of a horse and the lower body of a fish. But they really missed out on a fun face of a fish and the sexy gams of a horse. So...
Wait, I have a question.
About that. Sure.
This is a dumb question, but seahorses are real, right? That's not a photo of a mythical creature, right?
Chris, you should maybe go to the aquarium sometime during the pandemic. I hear it's okay to visit.
I'll take that as they're real.
All right, and just for fun, just to show you all the other random fun names in the brain, because anatomists sometimes have jokes, we have an entire area of the midbrain section, which is a little bit brighter on the screen that you can see here. Surrounding it is called corpus callosum, the hard body, wink, wink. And internal to that, we've got other parts like the inner chamber thalamus, which I think the myth in the naming is that like the entire midbrain is kind of like the bedroom. Hence you have like, breast-like things dangling underneath, hard body and corpus callosum. Singular gyrus.
Let's not forget how sexy translucent wall is. Like,
hell yeah.
Come on.
That is super sexy. Pineal gland, pine cone gland, although in reality it kind of looks like a dangling little, scrotum. But hey.
I wasn't sure if you were going to say it. I'm glad you did. Thank you for clarifying.
You better take this picture down. I'm starting to feel things. Get it out of here.
And folks,
Dylan's
that is
getting a
the end of
corpus
our
callosum over there.
round. I mean, wink, wink. Take it away, Shannon.
Thank you so much, Some Historian, for all that information. I learned a lot about the brain. Okay, so we're about to go into lightning round. DNA, how are you feeling about our contestants and our audience? Who do you think is going to win?
Chris has been strong from the get-go, which has been surprising to the audience because they did not vote for him.
They did not.
But
also surprising to me. I gotta say, surprising to me.
But I should say that this is lightning round and anything can happen. So just remember to click fast, be wrong fast, or be right fast. There's no in between.
How dare you in the comments suggest that I've been fed these answers? How dare you insult me like that?
Is this one of those games where like the first 2 rounds like don't even matter at all and like it's just this round that counts?
It says Harry Potter Quidditch. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Love it.
Great DNA. Yes, this round is worth a lot of points, so get those fingers right, and it's going to happen immediately, right? Where the questions are going to come up and the options are going to come up, so you got to be fast. I'm going to read them as fast as I can, but don't rely on me is all I'm saying. Okay, let's go. Pandemic brain can be explained by repeated release of what stress hormone? Was it dopamine, cortisol, serotonin, or moving in with your parents? Oh, we moved quick. See how quick that was? It was cortisol. Most people got it right. Let's see. We're already seeing movement. Happy Chicken has entered the chat. But LCD Cuddles or LCD Uddles is back with an answer streak of 3, and we love to see that. LCD Duddles. People, you can just put your first name. You really can.
Happy Chicken 2 coming in strong. Happy Chicken 1 is not on the board. Unfortunately, none of the other Happy Chickens are here.
I don't deserve green screen right now.
Oh my God! That's what's actually behind you.
Yeah, I don't deserve green screen anymore. Until I get some of these
Dylan.
right.
The reveal.
Your performance could get sadder, but this is the saddest thing I've ever seen, Dylan.
No, I don't deserve special effects and tricks till we get some of these answers right.
Dylan, I can't believe it.
No, we're coming apart here.
Oh my God.
All right, let's move it right along into our next question. Ooh, it's a multi-select. Phineas Gage became unpleasant and more irrational after an accident. What part of his brain was most severely injured?
Oh.
Was it the parietal lobe, frontal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe? We said it. Did you remember it? Oh, it is too. It was a multi, so it was the frontal and temporal lobe.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh, did we
what?
get it right? Chris, you're
I got half. I didn't know you could submit more than one.
Yeah, I said it very quickly.
That's my fault. That's my fault. I should have listened close.
I did the same thing. I was too busy melting to pay attention to instructions.
But we got Zoe Sushi and Westonians. I have not seen you on the board, but you are live. We got a lot of movement on this board.
Are you okay?
Yes, we have a lot of movement. So let's get going with that next question.
I'm going to reward myself.
It's a true or false, okay? You only use 10% of your brain. Is this true or is it false?
Me personally?
Do the calculation as well as you can. It is a big old false. Lots of people like to say it. It's in a lot of movies, but you use all of your brain. Why would we have so much brain if we only use 10%?
To get rid of the excess heat. How many times do we have to explain this?
That is true. We gotta run the numbers on getting rid of the excess heat. But we got some movement on the board. Just Jean is back with an answer streak of 3. But Chris still holds on tight. Whoa, okay.
I got 2 in a row, so I gave myself a background again. I'm bad.
There we
yeah,
go.
great.
The little victories.
Dylan
All
lives
right.
inside of a green screen background.
This substance is found in dark alcohols and linked to worse hangovers. Dee wanted us to put this in just so people knew that this substances might be in your darker alcohols, but the offer still stands. It is, a lot of people were getting this wrong. It is congeners. It is not glycerol or hops or text to your ex, though that will lead to a bad hangover.
I got it wrong. Someone's gonna come for me.
Oh, we got
sushi. You're so close.
Sushi is so close, but I love this background, Dylan. Did you get it right?
I don't care about the game anymore. It's raining money behind me, so like I'm just gonna pick all that up after. So we're resorting to Zoom bits now.
Well, Melody really got that right because she's up 7 places. Again, there's so much movement in this round, and we got more questions. So let's go to the next one. It's another quiz. In 2018, the FDA approved CBD as a treatment for what disease? What disease was CBD? Again, Dee wanted us to put this in. It was severe epilepsy. Oh, we got a split here. Some people thought it was anxiety. It is not yet approved for the use of anxiety, but it is in severe epilepsy. Let's see. You got this right, Chris?
I got it right.
Dylan?
I pushed a button.
Okay. Let's find out. Okay. We got some movement, but Chris still stays safe up at the top.
Okay.
Okay. I want to just give hype to the audience. You got to get these questions in faster. Chris is like lightning fast reflexes. You got to get in there quicker.
I got to just tell you, I don't have a lot going on in my life right now, and I really need this victory. So that's why I'm playing like this.
All right, let's go to the next question, which is not a real translation of brain anatomy terms. So I hope you were paying attention to that slide because then you would know. Is it hard body, breast-like things, naughty no-nos, horse head, fish legs? Oh, so many of you got that right. Yes, naughty no-nos is not a name for the brain, but is a name for many things.
It's something I will be saying forever now.
Naughty no-nos. Okay, Chris, you're still holding strong. But okay, Izzy and Eric. Okay, Maria, we see you.
Sheldon, I'm 29 points behind you, Sheldon L. So I'm coming for you, Sheldon. I'm competing now.
There's a side bet going on here between Dylan and Sheldon. That's a separate competition here.
And I love that.
That's old Sheldon or young Sheldon now?
I'm not thinking your serious jokes.
Let's move on.
Sheldon's in the chat. Sheldon's in the chat saying, "I feel so competitive." Just so
yeah, Sheldon, me and you.
Okay, Sheldon. We'll see how that goes. With the next question, get ready, Sheldon. The chat loves Sheldon.
What?
For non-anatomist Aristotle, where does consciousness live? Did he think it was in the brain, the gut, the heart, or the sphincter? Which sphincter? Do we have just one? I don't know. Okay, the people were knowing this. It was the heart, though some people thought the gut. How'd we do, Chris and Dylan?
I got it right, but I don't appreciate sphincter being an answer because you knew I would chuckle for a split second and that would slow my answer time.
Absolutely.
I'm in 22nd place. I don't know where Sheldon is, but I'm in 22nd place, so we'll see. Brainy, I'm 86 points behind you, Brainy.
I was extremely grateful that I hit my answer before you asked the question, do we have more than one sphincter? Because that would have thrown me for a loop, and I am not sure the answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like sphincter just is a term for something that squeezes something, right? I don't know.
Listen, if you're in the chat, get in the chat. Tell us how many sphincters you got.
Yeah,
everyone.
You personally.
Somebody Google sphincter and get us some sphincter facts.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, each of you tell us how many sphincters you think you got. Okay, Sheldon's got a few in his closet.
Okay, Sheldon. Sheldon's going to be our next comedian on here. Sheldon or who else was doing it? Chris in the chat? Someone else in the chat. I'm
not here. I'm one of the comedians this time.
Chris is the contestant. And he's winning.
Okay. How quickly we forget. Oh, how quickly we forget, Shannon.
Next question. Pathology is kinda the medical branch of what? What was that catchphrase that our historian did? Now, from the top, make it drop. I put in my name on it. How does this work? Oh shit, oops, but damn. What is pathology kinda the medical branch of? I hope everyone was paying attention.
Are you going to read all those again before?
Okay, people were split, but it was, how did we do? Chris, Dylan?
I'm in 19th. I'm right behind somebody. Jefe, did we decide?
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of the lightning round. So we're not going to see actually who won quite yet, because we're going to do a little housekeeping before we get there. And we want the anticipation to build.
But how will they know if it's me or not? You're going to make them wait?
Yeah, everyone's got to wait. DNA, how do you think everyone was doing?
You know, I just really want to know, did Sheldon beat Dylan? Sheldon, you have to let us know in the chat what spot you are. Even if you came in like 15th and you're above Dylan, give us your address, because we're sending you a Dana Foundation pencil.
Yes.
I mean, congrats, Sheldon. Congrats. We'll see.
And
what part of the brain does self-esteem live in? Because that part has grown for me this show.
I am very impressed by both Chris and Dylan's performance here in this quiz. Again, you know, you guys really gave the audience a run for its money. Okay.
Wow, okay. DNA, how do you feel? DNA, how do you feel about the fact that Dylan has objectified you by putting a poster of you up on his wall?
You know, some people don't like the attention and other people do, because, you know, it's flattering. So, Chris, it could have been you, but you chose not to have it. You didn't like it. You didn't like your face plastered all over Dylan's basement. But
I hated my face being in that weird virtual zone that he lives in.
This is me just trying to suck up. I don't know how the scoring works, but, you know, just throw me some points.
Well, I will say that Sheldon said no to the pencil. He said he never makes mistakes. So, Dylan, I think you win a pencil regardless now.
That is so badass. That's the most badass way to turn down a pencil.
I do feel like we need to point out what happened in the chat, because Sheldon said, I never make mistakes, so I have no need for a pencil. And then everyone pointed out that would be an eraser that you're talking about. And that was Sheldon, in fact, making a mistake, which is so, couldn't be better.
I retract my compliment of that, because I didn't realize either. So
I think Sheldon and Dylan are the same person.
Yeah, you know what, Sheldon, let's be friends.
I do think the chat was the true winner of this game. So a few housekeeping things. We want to thank the Dana Foundation so much for their support of this show. And we want to just ask a couple of poll questions, like which round was your favorite? This will help us make the show better every time.
This has been a virtual game show. We just kind of started during the pandemic, and we have a lot of fun talking to buddies, comedians, the chat, and the interaction. So all of your feedback helps. Oh, this was interesting. It's pretty spread evenly. We're also going to put a link in the chat so you can give us more in-depth feedback by taking a survey if you would like. We appreciate your feedback, chat.
Yes.
I answered round one because that was the only round I was doing well in it all. So like, don't use one of those votes validly. That doesn't count. That's just my ego.
People always love the lightning round, so it's good to see that. Another thing that we want to say is that if you want to check out another Brain Awareness Week sponsored ExtraRidiccular Science, we have another show coming up. And it is on April 11th. Remind me the time, DNA.
It's at 3 p.m. because we're going to try and get some UK people in there.
Yes. Make it international, again, because Brain Awareness Week is a global effort. So we're going to...
And we're also extending the week into a month because we want to bring UK people in there.
Exactly.
You can visit us at sciencecomedytrivia.com for that information.
Hold on, I'm making a London background real quick. Give me a second. Give me a sec. It's going to take longer, so continue on without me. This is a big waste of time. Ignore me.
And if you want to donate because you're enjoying the show, it will help us to make more shows in the future. You can do a donation at Venmo or PayPal at DC Science Comedy. We appreciate you all being here. Again, that's sciencecomedytrivia.com. Did I say that right, DNA?
You pronounced it correctly, yes.
sciencecomedytrivia.com. You can sign up to get on our mailing list to hear all about our events. Are people feeling like the anticipation? They want to know who the winner is.
I'm just saying, if you need people for that UK episode, I travel the globe, so.
Dylan and Sheldon take 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sheldon's over there by the London Tower.
Now that's a guy who knows London right there. You can tell. You can tell by the way he confidently said the landmark correctly.
Tower. Oh, we love it. Okay, DNA. Does that bring us to our final slide?
I think so. Are you guys ready to find out who won? Drum roll, please. Third place.
Maria came out of nowhere. KS on second, and first place is Chris.
Wow.
Oh, yes. He's going to Disneyland.
This is the first time a comedian has ever won.
Ever.
I think I was like the
celebration.
opposite of the spectrum. Like I took all the bad comedian, and he like used the other side of the energy.
I think this is also the first time an English major has won anything besides like the Nobel Prize in Literature. So this is also very
There's a
impressive.
full-time job attached to this.
We invite KS and Maria, since they placed, if they want to turn on their video and their sound and say a couple words, in congratulatory manner, they can.
And all top 3 winners, feel free to email dcsciencecomedy@gmail.com for your prize. You can put it there in the chat. So we're not going to give all the money, just money. We're not going to give all the pencils to Chris. So please let us know, and we'll give you a prize.
I'm still a winner because I'm just going to be here touching Chris's lips for the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
Know that you won.
I can feel it.
Know that you won. I'm going to be doing creepy things here for the rest of the night.
As long as it's with Chris and not DNA.
Yeah. No, DNA, you're dope.
Or Chris's DNA.
I won, but I really lost. I really lost.
Chris and Dylan, can you let us know where folks here can check you all out? Like, got any links? Got any shows coming up? Got any socials?
Oh, I'm gonna put a little link in the chat right there. There's a link for me in the chat. You can find me on there.
Oh, that's so smart. Hold on. Oh, you're a genius.
Chris,
Dylan's also difficult to find on social media. There's a lot of Dylan Stevensons out there, just saying.
Yeah, my social media handle is the Dylan1, and I was trying to consolidate all of them, but then the other one's the one Dylan. So then I couldn't it's one on one social media, one on the other. But I host a web series about fighting video games called Stick Talk TV. You can subscribe to T1 Nation on YouTube, but I'm also going to find one of those linky things and throw it in the chitty chat.
Yeah,
that's what the kids call it, the chitty chat. Oh, stop, Dylan, stop panicking.
I'm going to invite one more time, KS and Maria, if you want to turn your video on or your microphone on. What are the words? Sorry, my brain's not working, not very aware. You can say a couple words because you are the winner.
Hi,
you don't have to.
Hi, this is it's KS. I'm just gonna say I had fun. Thank you, but
Hi.
my video on.
Thanks for
Congrats.
Wait, is that Sheldon talking?
That was KS.
Oh,
KS.
KS.
Sheldon, call me. We got to go to London.
All right. Well, this is getting weird now, so we're going to cancel this Zoom call now. Thank you all
Thank
very
you
much. Check out our links in the chat for our next show. Comment and follow Dylan, Chris, DC Science Comedy Trivia, Shannon O'Doe, Some Historian, and your DNA for a good time. Thank you very much.
This is fun.
Thanks, everybody.